Welcome to the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. Dylan Tyrer with you ahead of the first meeting of the year between the Blue Jackets and the Detroit Red Wings. The Blue Jackets come into this game off a 6-4 victory over the Montreal Canadiens Thursday night right here at Nationwide Arena. The Blue Jackets' fourth line contributed in a huge way in that game. 3 goals, 2 from Sean Kuraly and another from Matthew Olivier. It was his first goal in a Blue Jackets uniform. That fourth line, they're really setting the tone for the Blue Jackets right now. Blue Jackets have also picked up points in 4 consecutive games, so a lot going right for the CBJ. And for the latest on the team, let's throw it over to Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley.
Well, as the Blue Jackets come into this game tonight against the Detroit Red Wings, Jody, the center position changes again. Jack Roslovic is ill. He will not play in this game tonight. That means Brendan Gaunce will draw back in.
Yeah, good for Gaunce. He's a big, heavy guy. I like the way he's played, but, maybe a little too cautious at times for his role. He needs to be a little more reckless. So see if he can do that tonight. And the other positions, Boone Jenner, Sean Kuraly coming off great games. The past few games, actually, where they understand the importance. The Blue Jackets are now the underdogs, right, with all these injuries. And those guys obviously drive it. And Cole Sillinger coming to life, putting some pucks in the net. So things are starting to work down the middle for the Blue Jackets.
Sean Kuraly, not just him, but his line mates, Matthew Olivier and Eric Robinson, becoming one of the more responsible fourth lines in this league, giving Brad Larson a chance to really just roll his lines.
You know what? You have to have that line that understands the way the team has to play. And they do that. And it's a great thing for a coach in Brad Larson to have them to set the example. But you're right. They go out and they win important faceoffs in the defensive zone. They match up against the other team's top lines. It doesn't matter who they're playing against. They're reliable and they're consistent, and you're not going to question their work ethic. So good to have that identity with that line for Brad Larson, this team.
Well, with all of the injuries on defense, the Blue Jackets need guys to step it up. And one guy that's been doing that in the last couple of games is veteran defenseman Eric Goodbranson. Jody, it seems like the more minutes that he gets, the better he's playing.
You know what? As a player, you just want to be on the ice, Bob. You want to be out there and not sit on the bench and think about the last shift or a mistake you just made. So for him to play carefree, he's playing bigger hockey now. It's really important for him. So good to see him step up in that position. Big right-handed shot D. It's going to be critical tonight that he's physical at the blue lines and really impact this Detroit Red Wings team along the wall. So it's great for him. And when you're a player to get to play and just not worry about anything, it's fun.
Well, the Blue Jackets are getting better on the power play. They started the year really struggling. The last couple of games are chipping in with power play goals. The problem is they're not getting many power plays.
You got to have the puck in the offensive zone for extended periods of time, and they're not doing that enough, especially in the second period. You see other teams down there catching a better line change than the Blue Jackets. They're able to draw those penalties when guys are tired. The Blue Jackets have got to focus to have that puck in the offensive zone more.
All right, that's the way we see it. Dylan, back to you.
Well, you heard Bob and Jody just talk about the continued progression of defenseman Eric Goodbranson this season. Remember, the Blue Jackets acquired him via free agency after spending a year with the Calgary Flames. He's come along very nicely, and Blue Jackets head coach Brad Larson says his game has amplified with other defensemen hurt.
I thought he's playing good. I think he's, like a lot of our guys, there's always some mistakes and some plays you want back. But I think he stepped up and he's playing big minutes for us, and we're going to need it.
Now let's get to know a little bit more about tonight's opponent, the Detroit Red Wings. They've got a brand new head coach this season in Derek Lalonde. They come into tonight's game sitting in 4th place in the Atlantic Division, coming off a 7-4 victory their last time out against San Jose. Before that, though, they were in the middle of a 4-game winless streak, so feeling a little bit better about themselves tonight as they come into this game against the Blue Jackets. A couple of players to watch for Detroit in this one. Dominik Kubalik is their leading scorer going into this game against the CBJ. 20 points on a team-high 8 goals and 12 assists in 17 games this season. Dylan Larkin, their captain and first-line centerman, second on the club in points and goals with 7. And then behind that, Lucas Raymond and new Red Wing David Perron each have 6 goals to start the season. On the blue line, the player to watch is Mo Seider. The reigning Calder Trophy winner is the NHL Rookie of the Year, a very dynamic young defenseman. So another excellent test for the Blue Jackets here this evening. A young team with some veteran talent added in the offseason, much like the Columbus Blue Jackets. So should be a great game tonight at Nationwide Arena, as that will do it for the Rink Report presented by Telhio Credit Union. For Bob McElligott and Jody Shelley, I'm Dylan Tyrer saying enjoy the game.